Have you ever heard that sound where it sounds like the bass is pumping? Well, that's sidechain compression. Sidechain compression is a studio technique where the compression of one channel is driven by the amplitude of another mixed channel. When the sidechaining element is present, the compressed element drops out, leaving its frequency range open until the sidechain's amplitude drops. Compressors are traditionally outward effects and are unlikely to reside in most modular setups. With some simple CV trickery and a VCA, we can easily emulate this effect. For those following along at home, I've supplied a patch recipe, so you can do this in your own system. You'll need 2 signals, a gate, an envelope, a negative copy of that envelope, positive voltage offset, and a mixer. I've chosen a Maths and a Moddemix for this, but they're not essential. I've replicated this patch with some other modules that I'll show you later. First, patch the 2 elements that you want to hear into the Moddemix and bring them up to the monitor level. I've chosen a modern classic for the carrier channel, a bang and donk, which will serve as a nice punctuation to the reverb-heavy compressed channel. Notice how these 2 elements sit in the mix. They're both there, but there's not much interaction between them. Now, patch the gate source into the trigger input of one channel of Maths and set cycle to off. Set the curve to full exponential and set the rise time to instant, or very fast. Set the fall time to about 80%. Patch the positive going output of your envelope generator into the control input of your main signal. Take the mixer for channel 1 and turn it to full negative to make a negative output. Take the sum output and patch it into the control input of your compressed channel. If you're using a through zero VCA like the Moddemix, at this point you might hear something that would surprise you. Even though the envelope is traveling downwards, you'll hear the compressed channel as if it had a positive going envelope. This is because the gain of the amplifier is being pushed from 0 to -1, going from a fully attenuated signal to a fully inverted signal. When an audio signal is inverted, it is still audible, and virtually indistinguishable from the original signal to human hearing. We want to provide a positive offset to our negative going CV to push the gain of our amplifier to 1 at rest and 0 when the envelope is at its peak. Fortunately, channels 2 and 3 of Maths make this real easy. Leave channel 2 at noon and turn channel 3 until you get a nice attenuation when the envelope kicks in. Fuck yeah, brah. At this point, you should hear a reasonable approximation of the sidechaining effect. This can be used on 2 independent instruments, or it could be used on an instrument and its effects chain, creating an interesting atmosphere. The patch is easily expandable to include more complicated compressed and sidechain channels. Breaking the rigid rhythmic structure we've imposed thus far would be a nice start, as well as adding more movement to either channel. If I change the positive offset to our envelope, we change how we hear the compressed signal. We shift when the compressed channel is heard from offbeats to downbeats. Instead of an envelope generator, you could try this using an envelope fallover, like the one found in the disting. This might be a little bit closer to a true sidechain compression. I'm using a Maths here for convenience, but you can do this with other modules. I've replicated this patch using a light strip, Twiggy, a DIY mixer, and a function, just to show that you don't need big fancy modules. If I've said anything that's confusing or inaccurate, please let me know and I'll fix it or help you out. Let me know if this video's been helpful or inspired a patch of your own. Or if it's confusing, send me questions. It's my first video, so it's probably going to suck a little bit. This has been AvantBard. Thank you.